Let's move on to the other Duke in disgrace now. That's Harry's uncle, Andrew. First, let's discuss a row over his title of Honorary Colonel of the Grenadier Guards. How fancy does that sound? It was thought that the Duke of York would give up all honorary posts in the wake of ongoing scrutiny over his links to the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. But apparently the Queen has made it clear to the regiment that she wishes Andrew to retain that post. Charlotte, what do you know about this? What's been happening?
So the Queen's let it be known that she wants him to retain this post. No mention of the other ones.
How many are there?
There's a good handful. It seems to be to protect the Jubilee again, because maybe it would be a bit awkward if he was in his regular, a suit for next year. So it seems to be to protect that. But she's let it be known, apparently, that he will retain that title despite the Jeffrey Epstein allegations and the mess that he's in.
I mean, what's the significance of this? These titles are so important, aren't they, to the royal family and to the military as well?
Well, they're so important to Prince Andrew. I mean, anyone else would have the dignity to say, you know what, fair enough, I'm in the background now, I'm no longer a working royal, I don't need to wear the uniform and take the honorary title. But being Prince Andrew, you can only imagine he's probably been lobbying his mother, maybe behind the scenes. She's his, he's her favourite. She's probably saying, of course, dear, I suppose.
But what do we know, if anything, about what the military thinks about him retaining the title?
I mean, we've had plenty of stories over the years, really, from people involved in the regiment who really wish that he would step down. It's very awkward. But
there's taint, isn't there?
Yeah, there is, but they treasure their links to their Colonel-in-Chief, the Queen, and they don't want to do anything to upset her. So it's very awkward. I mean, I'm generally sympathetic to Andrew, but in this case, he needs to resign. He needs to quit his post because he puts the Queen in a very difficult position, and he also puts the regiment in a difficult position. And when it comes to trooping the colour for the extra special one, the Platinum Jubilee, as you mentioned, it's going to be particularly awful because if he's still stepped back from royal duties, he won't be able to lead out his regiment.
Do you think this does have Andrew at the source, that he's just sort of like deliberately or sort of like ignorantly putting the Queen in a difficult position again?
Well, he must be, because behind the scenes he could have said, listen, I'm just going to step back and going to step down. But obviously he hasn't. He can't have done. So I guess he is behind this because he hasn't done, I suppose you could say he hasn't done the decent thing and just stepped down himself.
I think the problem is, Prince Andrew maintains he's entirely innocent, and the Queen accepts that, as do other members of the royal family. And I think the feeling is that if he quits all his roles permanently, it looks like an admission of guilt. That's the main thing they're worried about. But I'm afraid I think it has gone beyond that now. And
he can't actually do the job because he's no longer a working royal, so he can't, do any walkabouts or anything, or represent them in any way.
Oh, God, it's just going to go rumble on and on. But I want to move on, Richard, to another story about Andrew this week that you wrote about Andrew travelling to Balmoral. What was the significance?
Yeah, we've heard a lot from his brother Prince Charles recently about the environment. As we know, he's a very, very strong campaigner against climate change.
It always has been.
Yeah, and Prince Andrew, for his visit with Fergie, this time to Balmoral, he took not one, not two, but 3 SUVs. And obviously we wonder, the palace wouldn't comment at all, but, why does he need all these gas-guzzling vehicles? And then
why does he? Do you know?
Well, they wouldn't say, but the suggestion is that it's still for his royal protection.
Oh.
But these are not police cars. These are, with his personalised number plates, Prince Andrew's cars. And
is that what the number plates say?
The fact it's he's still getting taxpayer-funded police protection when he hasn't carried out any royal duties for almost 2 years, and there doesn't seem to be any real prospect that he will be in the future. I mean, I think it's outrageous.
It's not a good look, is it? Particularly, from a taxpayer point of view or from an ecological point of view. Do you think he ever thinks, right, what's the optics here, as the Americans are fond of saying?
Yeah. Well, clearly not.
No.
He seems to want to do it on purpose to provoke his brother. I mean, we do know that Andrew loves to provoke his brother. I mean, you always think, is this a wind-up? It's so bonkers.
I mean, to be fair, there have been some security scares recently. There was one where some strange woman.
Yeah, around the Queen.
Entered his, no, but in Prince Andrew's house. There was a woman who entered Royal Lodge, and
that's right. Yes, of course.
There have been a few scares, and I think when he's at Windsor, then he benefits from the Queen's protection. But now he's getting that when he goes out for his private holidays as well.
But I've heard whispers that he likes the protection because he likes to feel important and to feel flanked by people. That's a sort of something he enjoys.
How possibly continue to justify the public expense if he's not a working royal?
Well, he can't, but he'll probably be seizing on small security breaches to say, look, I've got to keep it, because he actually wants to keep the security. And yeah, I would have thought he'd be seizing on those moments. But he's supposed to be in Balmoral, basically, in hiding all summer. You know, he doesn't need them.
Is it fair to say that Prince Andrew is someone to whom appearances matter greatly?
I think they do, and as Charlotte says, I think he likes the protection for that reason. And travelling in a convoy of 3 cars, you know, sort of emphasises your position. I mean, the only reason he went up by road at all is that previously they would fly up. But because of COVID, they wanted to sort of keep it secure. So you don't want to go on a plane and be meeting other staff or, you know, pilots and so forth who could be a COVID risk.
Maybe he had thought of the optics. Maybe he thought, I better not land by private jet. It's not a good look. I'll just take my 3 vehicles instead.
Do the decent thing and take my 3 gas guzzlers.
Well, of course
I'll go low key, mummy.
He was Air Miles Andy, wasn't he? But now he's clearly, you know, Road Miles Andy.
That is all we have time for on our YouTube show this week. To see the rest of the programme and much more royal news, views and videos, head over to Mail Plus by clicking the link on your screen now. See you there.